The transfer portal shakeup, who's winning, who's losing, and the wildcard surprise. The college basketball transfer portal has officially opened its doors, and it's like a thrilling game of musical chairs that could redefine the upcoming season for many teams. For the Florida Gators, the groundwork for a potential national championship in 2025 was laid right after their disappointing first-round exit in the 2024 tournament. They managed to keep their star players while also snagging Elijah Martin from Florida Atlantic and Ruben Chignello from Washington State, setting the stage for a comeback. But let's be real, success in the transfer portal isn't just about adding new talent, it's also about keeping your homegrown stars from wandering off. Florida learned this the hard way when Denzel Aberdeen, a player expected to start this season, jumped ship to rival Kentucky for a more lucrative nil deal right after a championship run. Ouch! Now that the transfer portal has closed, teams across the nation are finalizing their rosters. Let's dive into the biggest winners and losers of this offseason in college basketball. Winners. Michigan. Michigan is making waves with an impressive roster overhaul. Even if their standout recruit, Yaxel Lendeborg from UAB, decides to chase his NBA dreams, the Wolverines are still in a great position. Lendeborg is a two-way forward with the potential to dominate college basketball next year. But even without him, Michigan has secured Illinois transfer Morez Johnson for interior scoring, UCLA's Ade Mara for his towering presence at 7 feet 3 inches, and North Carolina's Elliot Cadeau for playmaking. Plus, they managed to keep Roddy Gale Jr., who showed great promise last season. With these additions, Michigan could surpass their Sweet 16 run from last year. St. John's. After a rollercoaster season that ended in disappointment, St. John's is back in the game with a vengeance. Legendary coach Rick Pitino, gearing up for his 73rd birthday, has reloaded his roster with some exciting talent. The Johnnies welcome dynamic guards Ian Jackson from North Carolina and Josen Sosin from Arizona State, along with 6 feet 9 inches forward Dylan Mitchell, who brings athleticism and energy. Ozia Sellers, a pure shooter, adds much-needed scoring depth. Keeping starting center Zuby Ejiofor was a masterstroke, and despite losing R.J. Luis, St. John's is poised to be a formidable force with a much-improved offense. Iowa. Iowa made a bold move by hiring Drake's Ben McCullum, who quickly brought his star player, Bennett Sturtz, along for the ride. Sturtz is one of the best guards in the nation, and with the addition of Alvaro Falgueras from Robert Morris, who shot 41% from 3 last season, the Hawkeyes are looking strong. They also added Kansas State transfer Brendan Housen, a sharpshooter who can light it up from deep. With McCullum bringing in 4 other players from his Drake squad, Iowa has the depth and experience to make a serious NCAA tournament push. Kentucky. Kentucky is flexing its financial muscle in the transfer portal, reportedly with around $20 million to spend. Head coach Mark Pope has made some savvy moves, landing top NBA prospect Jaden Quaintance from Arizona State, a big man with elite shot-blocking skills and untapped offensive potential. They also secured Kem Williams, a 3 and D wing from Tulane, and talented guards Denzel Aberdeen from Florida and Jalen Lowe from Pitt. With the addition of athletic forward Mahaim Diabate from Alabama, Kentucky is gearing up for a serious Final Four run if their guards can deliver. Louisville. Louisville's Pat Kelsey wasted no time in the transfer portal, targeting players who can make an immediate impact. Adrian Woolley, a standout mid-major freshman, is expected to shine in the ACC, while Ryan Conwell, a high-volume shooter from Xavier, adds depth to the scoring. Kelsey also brought in Isaac McNeely from Virginia, and secured a commitment from 5-star freshman Mikal Brown, who is set to make waves with his playmaking abilities. Although losing bigman James Scott is a setback, Louisville has the talent to not only make the tournament, but also advance further this time. Losers. Indiana. Indiana made a splash by hiring head coach Darian DeVries from West Virginia, and quickly brought in 9 players through the transfer portal. However, while the depth is impressive, the high-end talent is questionable. DeVries' son, Tucker, is a promising 6 feet 7 inches scorer, but he'll need to be an All-Big Ten performer coming off a shoulder injury for Indiana to have a shot at the tournament. The rest of the recruits are mostly from lower-tier schools, raising concerns about athleticism and frontcourt size. Despite being ranked as a top 10 portal class, there are doubts about their overall competitiveness. Baylor. Baylor has been a powerhouse under Scott Drew, but this offseason feels like a step back. They lost point guard Robert Wright II to BYU, which was a significant blow since they thought they had him secured. While they did add Michael Ratai, a versatile forward from Oregon State, and scoring guard Obi Agbem from Wyoming, the overall talent level seems diminished compared to previous years. Baylor could still win games, but they might not be as formidable as in the past. North Carolina. North Carolina brought in some solid players, but it feels like they fell short in a crucial year. Henri Vizar, a standout center from Arizona, is a fantastic addition, but the team still seems thin after losing key players like Jackson and Cadeau. Jaren Stevenson and Kyan Evans are promising, but it's unclear if they've done enough to elevate a team that struggled last season. The Tar Heels need to step up their game to avoid another mediocre year. Arizona State. Arizona State had potential last season, but the pieces never quite fit, leading to a disappointing 13-20 record. With the loss of key players like Quaintance and Sosin, it's hard to see how they'll improve this year. While they did add Marcus Adams Jr. and Maurice Odom, the overall talent drain is concerning for a team that needs to bounce back from a rough season. Wildcard, USC. Eric Musselman's first season at USC didn't go as planned, but he's making moves in the transfer portal to turn things around. The Trojans invested heavily in former Maryland sharpshooter Rodney Rice, reportedly for $3 million, and added Chad Baker-Mazara from Auburn, who brings valuable experience. They also secured Jacob Kofi, a 6 feet 10 inches big man from Virginia, who was efficient on both ends last year. Despite losing some talent, USC's new additions could make them a competitive team next season. Let's just hope incoming freshman Elijah Arenas is recovering well after his recent car accident.